Nick Fetty with the University of Iowa Center for Global and Regional Environmental Research, and we're at the COP21 conference in Paris covering the events going on. Today we're with Dubuque Mayor Roy Buol, who's joined us. Thank you, Mayor Buol, for joining us today.
My pleasure to be here.
So Mayor Buol is here meeting up with some other mayors from the Mississippi region to kind of discuss water quality and other issues. So why don't you start off by telling me kind of what you've been meeting, what you've been discussing thus far.
Okay, well I'm here with 3 other mayors from our Mississippi River Cities and Towns initiative, and we're here to talk with other river basins about sustainability, resilience, and it's focused around clean water and food production.
Why don't you just tell me about kind of some of the initiatives that Dubuque's kind of been doing in terms of sustainability and adapting to climate change, and then kind of maybe some of the ideas that you've maybe brought to the other mayors in that regard.
Sure. Well, I'll talk about the 3 things that other mayors have been asking me about. There's over 500 mayors here at the COP, which really I think has brought a new energy, for this COP21. But in Dubuque, we've got 3 major projects come to mind around sustainability and resilience. We've got the B Branch Water project, stormwater project, that we're actually daylighting a creek through one of our older neighborhoods that's had 6 disaster declarations in those neighborhoods the past 12 years from flooding, flash flooding. So this project will literally create a creek that will carry the water from up to a 500-year storm at a very slow speed, and when it's not flooded, it will serve as a linear park through one of our more challenged neighborhoods. And we're doing a lot of things to help clean that water. Our millwork district, our historic millwork district, which was basically vacant and abandoned, we're repurposing those buildings into apartments, retail space, space for the arts. We got one of the first Tiger grants for complete streets, so we've got pervious pavers, things that will control runoff and filter water back into the system naturally. And now our other major project was our Water Resource and Recovery Center. And that center was a $70 million project, and it replaces what used to be an incineration system for our stormwater. Today, the byproduct of that process is fertilizer for farm fields and methane that we're capturing, cleaning, and then putting into 6 micro turbines to produce the power that will actually run that facility and the heat that will help in the digestion process.
Is there maybe anything some of these other mayors that have discussed that their cities are doing that may be applicable to Dubuque?
Well, we just had some discussions, around with some other river basins about what they're doing, to clean water, and many of them are things like we're doing on the Mississippi, repairing flyways, for instance, creating those backwater settings, where the migratory birds and things can live and the water can be filtered. It's about clean water, taking the nutrients out of the water, to make it cleaner for everybody downriver, and it's crop production, food production. By 2050, we're looking at another 2.5 billion people in the world. We'll be at 9.5 billion people. And you put that on top of the fact we're going to be dealing with some climate change that's really going to change how food is produced. In the United States, we do it on it's like an engineered process. We can plant a lot of crops in a very short period of time. We've got seed that's resilient, to drought, those types of things which other countries don't have. But if we meet that nexus where we're the ones providing that food for the rest of the world and these other basins, aren't up to speed, it will devastate our farmland. It'll create water that is really rich in nutrients that will destroy, the Gulf, hypoxia zones. We already have dead zones. So we're dealing with some major issues in the future if we don't start to mitigate them now and help other river basins create that resiliency. One thing that I've heard mentioned here a lot of times, there's over 500 mayors here. And if people talk about a different kind of energy to this COP21, And that's based on the number of mayors that are here and the projects that are happening in their cities with their mayors and councils, and really making a difference, creating those best practices, those examples that can be used globally. So that's, it seems to be a different COP from what I've heard from a lot of participants from around the world.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Mayor Buol, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And please check back tomorrow for more updates from COP21.